The Ermac update just released for Mortal Kombat 1, and what came with it was actually probably the biggest balance patch this game has received yet. So I'm going to go over every single major change that comes with this patch and give you guys a visual as well. Before we begin though, I'm really close to reaching 1,000 subs on YouTube. I would love to hit that goal before the end of the month. So if you enjoy Mortal Kombat content and want to see more informational videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Let's get right to it. Crossplay is now working in all game modes across PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, meaning that tournaments with crossplay will be possible now that King of the Hill modes, which streamers use to spectate the tournament matches, is going to work as well. But now let's just get into the character changes. With every patch comes a lot of general bug fixes, so I'm just going to be focusing on the intrinsic character changes, not just the fixes to like little bugs on specific interactions, but new changes the characters have. So starting with Geras, the only change he received, very similar to Johnny's star power, he now has an indicator at the bottom of the screen to tell you how many hourglasses he has stored up. As you can see, it's just a little hourglass, and once you have all three, it's just going to be full with a little effect swirling around it. So just so both players are more aware of how many hourglasses Geras has stored up. Just a little visual adjustment right there. Now on to the big ones. And fellas, it finally happened. Raiden got quite nerfed this patch, mainly around the move of the hour, Storm Cell. So Storm Cell received quite a lot of nerfs. As you can see, there's no longer a pull-in effect on airborne opponents, whereas previously this would have just pulled you in, force you to block or get hit by the Storm Cell anyways. That's just completely gone. Additionally, Storm Cell has had its damage nerfed by 27, and probably most importantly, if we turn on frame data here, you'll see that there's basically no pushback, and it's a whole minus 22. So now he can't just cover the gap with Kano and still be super plus after to get a meaty. You can basically punish this on block every single time. I believe the frame data is the same for the EX as well. Yeah, minus 22 on that, and still less pushback on the EX as well. So this is a huge nerf to Raiden. Additionally, Raiden's built-in electric charge mechanic, where he got negated chip if you just blocked a couple of hits on block after a certain period of seconds, and now requires twice as many hits to become active. So just to give you guys a visual of how much worse this electric charge is now, it's still not active. And there, it finally came in. That is insane. I don't know who's blocking for that long. So if Raiden has electric charge active, his Razzle Dazzle, his 0 damage down back 2 move, which also now has 1 more frame of startup, 5 more blocks on frames and increased pushback, will actually get extra blocks on and pushback if electric charges up. Jumping immediately from the most nerfed character to probably the most buffed, we have Rain. Rather than just adjusting stuff, they actually gave Rain a ton of new tools, including 2 brand new buttons and strings, those being forward 1 and back 3. So forward 1 is a 12 frame mid, only minus 3 on block, goes pretty far. String off this is forward 1-2, only minus 6. So it's just a straight splat knockdown on hit, but man, just having this tool could be really good, and I'm assuming it's cancelable as well, yeah. So he can literally just do whatever after, get full combo. And for as good as that string seems, this string seems even better. He does a huge stepping 13 frame low, and it's actually a launcher. Straight up meterless. His forward 2 string also got his frame data buffed on basically all its parts. When he holds his water beam, he can actually cancel it into other specials. That is insane. So while you're just sitting there ducking or trying to block and respect it, he just gets free portals up. You can basically cancel into any special, not using the 1 button that he has to hold for this. So he can do this straight into armor. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, Rain might be top 5, everybody. Because he can actually cancel off of water beam charge, he can single hit confirm off buttons now. So if you just do this, forward 2 into the charge, and you just immediately do something like that, and it all still combos. A lot of love shown to the ninjas this patch, because next up we have Reptile. So first change with Reptile is his 1-1-4, the string that puts him airborne can now be canceled into his slam. His 2-3 and his forward 2-3 strings have had their hit regions adjusted to fix a whiffing issue that was happening a lot. His charge back 2 now comes out 3 frames faster and is much safer on block. And the first hit, and only the first hit of his stand 3, now has 12 more frames of hit advantage. And this will come in for what's probably the biggest change. Falling Fangs can now be canceled by just holding down after you do the move. You see he briefly goes invisible, but just stays on the ground. And this actually allows him to get a ton of new combo routes. Even though it's only for a brief moment, That 1 second of invincibility he gets now could be more than enough to slip up your opponent with a low. He has a new variant to his acid spit move. If you hold the button, it just comes out as a straight fast projectile, the classic reptile fastball, which he's kind of been missing in this game. Enhanced invisibility now makes Reptile fully invisible about 2 seconds faster, which is a huge upgrade. To round off the ninja buffs this patch, we have Scorpion, who didn't get quite as many buffs as the other 2 ninjas, but still, you know, the poster boy finally got some love. So a big gripe that Scorpion players had was that off of his forward 3, his main mid string, the second hit was always a high, so you could always just duck the second part. So they've actually added a new string off his forward 3, being 4-3-4, which is a double mid that is cancelable and does combo into Demon Dash. Probably gonna have other synergy with it too. I do hear there is an armor gap. So it is -6, meaning it is basically safe against almost the entire cast. You're going to see Scorpion players using the string to enforce more respect into more chip with stuff like the spear spin right there. For as minor as an adjustment that might seem, it is a pretty huge buff once you layer just everything Scorpion's doing on top of that. Our girl Sindel got a little love actually. You can now buffer Fireball as soon as you float, making it way easier. So if you see my inputs on the right, I'm just doing Fireball immediately after float, and it's coming out like the very first frame. Last but not least, Peacemaker, you know, Mr. Cena himself, received quite a couple nerfs. First, there's a lot of general damage adjustments, most of them being nerfs to his overall damage. Sonic Boom got his damage nerfed, Human Torpedo got his damage nerfed, and a couple of his strings. Force Field now lasts 2 seconds shorter. Wow, it goes away super quick. And it gets broken after getting hit twice. Not only does it last way shorter, but if this gets hit by 2 projectiles, it's going to go away instantly. So if you look right here, Glaive hitting once and then coming back will make Force Field go away instantly. No more just spamming that from full screen. And last but certainly not least, the double Eagly bug has been completely removed. You can no longer just, for some reason, have 2 birds. That's not in the lore. No down back 4, down back 4, no down back 4, down forward 4, and no down back 4 cameo kill or anything. So that's what I considered all the major changes on the character balance side of things. Now let's just quickly go over the cameos. Jax has had the hit region on his backbreaker slightly increased, just going to make combos into, you know, the bear hug a bit easier. Potentially a really big one here, Kung Lao cameo will no longer hit airborne opponents who aren't already in a combo. So you see that even though I jumped basically right on top of the Lao cameo right there, it actually still didn't hit me. Now this cameo was really strong for basically just locking people down, so in a ton of matchups people should feel way safer just being able to jump, maybe even jump back against it, because it's just not going to connect with you. In fact, they made this change with a lot of cameos. Just any cameo lows now don't really hit airborne opponents, including Janet Sweep, this, and Tremors Rock. Chameleon received a pretty major fix as well in that her air sign move when she has the Melina form up no longer adds a passive damage buff. I don't know how that ever made it in the game, but it just doesn't do it anymore. The Shujinko buffs are just insane. He basically got a new move with every character. A lot of them are just pre-existing specials of the character, you know, he's stealing the moves from. And this would just pad out the video super long to show you all of them, so I think I'll just compile them all into another video. I appreciate you guys watching though. I'm going to be making my Ermac breakdown very soon. Let's try to hit 1,000 subs before the end of April. Let's make it happen. See ya.